Hey everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to go through the game Bears vs. Babies, a game brought to you by the same crew that did Exploding Kittens. So the Oatmeal and Should Be Better Prepared, Elon Lee. Originally published in 2017, I did back this one on Kickstarter. That's why I've got this fuzzy little box. A game for 2 to 5 players with a playtime of roughly 45 minutes. So in this game, we're going to be creating bears and monsters to eat delicious land, water, and sky babies. So join me as we go through this setup and playthrough of the game Bears vs. Babies. Hey everyone, welcome to what will be a 3-player setup of the game Bears vs. Babies. So I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. First, I'm going to address the different types of cards that are going to come out during play so that you have an idea. Then I'm going to do a few hard edits, so please work with me while I go through those to describe, the rest of the setup as well as the game of the play. So the different types of cards that are going to come up during the game, I'll get that out of the way so that you know the components. You're going to have rainbow bears, which are all 3 types of bears: land, sea, and sky. Masks, or sort of item type cards, which you can use to cover up a bear's face. Bodies, which you stitch to a bear's head. Feet, which you can stitch to the bottom of a body. Different types of babies: green, blue, red, or land, sea, and air babies. Arms, which can be affixed to the sides of bodies usually. Let me show you how that will work. So here's a body card again, and you'll notice these 3 stitchings up top, which will be able to match up with a head, and then you see the 2 stitching on the side, which you can see here I can attach a 2-stitch arm to. You've got sort of action cards, tool cards, which you see this little icon here. You'll have a male and female connector, so you can only attach this, but you can do it upside down or other ways. And then a wild provoke. So those are the different types of cards that are going to come out during the course of play. So to begin, what you want to do is deal all players around the table 1 rainbow grizzly bear head, or not grizzly bear, but 1 bear head. So all players will get 1 of those. We'll give this person panda bear, and we'll give this person polar bear, just like that. Okay. Once dealing out the rainbow bear heads to all players, then you want to shuffle all remaining bear heads back into the deck. Once you've given the deck, which is pretty large, a good shuffle. Now, this is a half-ass shuffle, but once you've given it a good shuffle, deal all players, and I'm going to do this differently, all players get 4 additional cards. So all players should have a starting hand of 5, 4 random drawn cards, plus their 1 rainbow bear head. Take the remainder of the deck and separate it out as equally as possible into 3 separate decks and place them into the draw piles here. Then all players pull up their hands, not revealing where their rainbow one is, and if you've received any baby cards, take them from your hand, put them in their corresponding locations, and draw up a new card. Okay, only 1 starting baby. Not bad. Now, all players have their starting hands. We've got the starting play. We've got the decks. and we're ready to begin. So, to show you what a game or what the play looks like, hard edit incoming. On your turn, you can do any one of these three things. Take actions. In a 2-player game, each player gets 4 actions. In a 3-player game, it's 3 actions. And in a 4-player or a 4 or greater player game, each player gets 2 actions. Let's zoom out a little bit, see if that'll get clearer. Not sure if that really helped or not. Or you may provoke. That means you are taking no actions on your turn, but instead choosing one of the 3 baby armies to provoke, and then all players that have monsters matching that army's type, land, sea, or air, must then go to battle with their armies. Or dumpster dive. You can take no actions and take the card of your choice from the discard pile and bring it into your hand. And those are the types of actions that can be had during your turn. Take any combination of 4, which is drawing or playing cards, provoking a baby army, or going through the discard pile. Hard edit incoming. So during your turn, you're going to choose whether or not you want to provoke an army, if you want to go through the discard pile, or if you want to draw or play cards. The game is going to be played until the discard pile is completely drained. Once that happens, it triggers the end game event. So let's say all these cards are gone and I draw up the final card as an action. So I'm going to take that into my hand, and then I'm going to basically be able to finish out any remaining actions. Then the other players around the table will get one final turn to do whatever it is they want to do. Provoke an army, play some other cards, do whatever. And then the player that triggered that last card, that end game event of taking the last card of the draw piles, gets one final turn as well. How do you win? Well, during the course of play, as you've built up bears, so let's say, for example, this was one of my bear armies. Can I get some feet in there? Doesn't really show up, but there we go. So let's say this was one of my bears. I'm going to then provoke, say, this sky baby, and I've got more points on my cards, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, than there are in this pile of babies. So once revealed, there's only one. So I would defeat this baby and take it into my sort of pile of dead babies. And how you win the game is by being the player with the most points from defeated babies. During the game of play, all players that have the corresponding type of monster or bears, bear monster, to the type of baby must go to battle. Then, once you've either attacked, whether you've defeated or lost to the babies, all players who are participating in battle must then remove their creation. So I use these 4 cards. These 4 cards would go to the discard pile, and all other players that were a part of that battle would also go to the discard pile. In the case of a tie, so for example, in that bear I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I had 7 points. In the case of a tie, whether that be between players or it ties between players. So if, let's say, player 3 also had a sky monster that qualified for the battle, that also was 7, then the babies stay and the monsters stay until a future round. In the case of one player winning but tying the babies, then the babies lose. So the bear creations do win in the case of a tie. And that's it. You're ready to start playing bears versus babies. So let's take a couple of turns to see how this plays out. Now remember, if you draw up a baby from any of the draw piles, you put them face down into their corresponding baby pile. So player 1, I'm going to go ahead and take actions. Let's draw up 4 cards. 2, 3. That was a really bad shuffle. I'm going to discard that one because that just did not work out. Let's do 4 from this pile. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for my first turn, I'm just actually going to take all 4 actions, or actually 3 actions, sorry. In a 3-player game, only 3 actions. And a baby was drawn. So this baby goes into this pile because, as you see here, it's blue, so it's C. There we go. Now this bear, it's specifically a land bear. This one, it's a sky head. So these two, if ever in my sort of play area, this one would be used to activate against the land army, and this one against the sky army. When building out creations, you must start with a head. You cannot build a body without there first being a head. Okay, so those are my 4 actions. Now, player 2. Player 2, taking a quick peek at what they have, they're going to grab some cards as well. 1, 2, ooh, baby. 3, baby. And for their 4th one, they're going to start creating a monster. 4. Next player's turn. Checking out what they have. For their first turn, they're going to also build a sea monster. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Baby. Okay. Now back to player 1. Player 1, going at their turn, seeing that they're readying up for a land attack, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. 1. You know what? 2. 3. There we go. Line up the stitches. 3 and 3. And 4. There we go. Now I've at least got the base of 2 bear monsters ready to go. A Pomeranian of light and wonder in a bikini, and a Jabberwocky in a prom dress. Next player's turn. Now, at any point, someone can call provoke as long as there are babies in those locations. So example, let's say, for instance, I know that I've got more C than the other person in points. I'm going to want to try to call this provoke as quickly as I can to get that going. So let's go ahead and build out this monster. That's 3 stitches there. Good deal. Let's see if I can get this in view. That's 1. That's 2. Let's give him a hat. That's 3. And drop 1 more for 4. Ooh, baby, going in that pile. Okay, now next player's turn. Oh, I keep doing 4 actions, guys. Sorry about that. You go back there. I keep thinking there's 4 actions, but 3-player game, 3 actions. Got to remember these things. So let's start doing a second C monster. 1, 2, and 3. Oh boy, that was a lot of babies that just got put into there. Now it's going to go back to this player's turn. Seeing as that they've got 3 points for land and 3 points for sky, seeing that there are 3 babies here and 2 babies here, let's say they want to call a provoke. So they're going to provoke sky. They're the only player around the table that has a qualifying bear monster to attack sky. So they're going to reveal the number of points, which is 3. And I've got 3 points. So I would defeat this baby army and bring them into my victory point area. But as a result, this bear monster was also shipped away, discarded. And that's my turn. I take no other actions because I did a provoke. So anyway, guys, that's bears versus babies. I hope you get a general idea of the sense of play. So give me a moment while I go ahead and pack up the cards and then bring you my afterthoughts. Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that setup and playthrough of the game Bears vs. Babies. So let's go ahead and dive right in. If you're just happening upon this video and you didn't happen here from the full How to Play. This box it was a Kickstarter exclusive box, and it even came with a fun little condom to, I don't know, because it's the oatmeal and that entertains me. So if you're just hopping on this video, not from the how-to, please forgive me if I reference a couple of things that I might have brought up in that how-to. So let's dive in. Components. Well, look, it's a little card game that, hard to mess up that when you're just cutting a bunch of cards. The artwork is as fun and out there as you would expect from the creators of Exploding Kittens. But one thing that I absolutely appreciated was the fact that they did include a playmat. So you had a very organized area for the 3 different baby types, discard pile, draw pile, rules printed right on there. So awesome. When they take those extra steps to even pack it in such a small container, I'm definitely a fan. So components definitely get a good notch. The game is for 2 to 5 players, right? So let me first address 2-player games. It's okay for 2 players. Look, when you're just sitting down with one other person for this style of game, it's not the best for 2 players. There are way better games for 2 players out there. So if you're looking at Bears versus Babies and you and a significant other, partner, or just as other friend, you guys typically do just 2-player game nights. Just get this out of the way now. Give this one a miss. For the 3, 4, and 5-player category, yes, a lot of fun, but table space is a premium. Okay, so if you get to a point where you're trying to, build out babies and you've got, a head, a body, 1 or 2 arms with even a tool and then a hat, it can get overwhelming, and so table space is at an absolute premium. Now, that's a negative to me, and here's why. There's a game out there called Custom Heroes, and it has transparent cards. Now, look, I get that would have probably added to the cost, but they could have maybe made the cards a little bit larger, and then you could slide them into a transparent sleeve, thus layering the different, head, body, arms, stitching together in such a way that doesn't occupy up, a full table with a leaf insert, for crying out loud. So the fact that creating the monsters was a lot of fun and, really humorous and entertaining, but at the cost to how much space you have, keep that in mind before you pick up this game, especially if you're going to play with 4 or 5 players at the table where you might have, only so much room available. For such a small game, it takes up a lot of space. So why might you want to add this to your collection? Well, because you're a fan of Exploding Kittens and you enjoy the Oatmeal's work, and look, it's fun. I enjoyed Exploding Kittens when it first came out too. With that said, though, it gets old quickly. So look, as fun as it and entertaining as Exploding Kittens was, it fell off for me pretty quickly. So did Bears vs. Babies. But if you want to add it to your collection and you like that sort of humorous take on cards and just very entertaining style of not only artwork but creativity, then yes, definitely recommend it. Reasons you may not want to add it to your collection, well, you're only going to be doing 2 players, or if you like me, found Exploding Kittens to get old quickly, give this one a miss. That's my take on Bears vs. Babies. I'm happy that I added it to the collection because, look, pulling it out from time to time to kind of renew the entertainment is cool. But again, it's quickly forgotten at the same time. So anyway, guys, that's my take. How did you enjoy Bears vs. Babies? Feel free to leave a comment down below. Happy to chat further while we're, talk on that subject. If you happen on the video and you like the content, feel free to leave a subscribe. I appreciate the support. And as always, until next time, thanks for watching.